Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Snark Bait. I'm Christy.
I'm Sophie, and today we were talking about Jared Leto.
Ugh,
He's creepy, you guys. All of this is alleged. Please listen with discretion. Just a trigger warning. There is some disturbing stuff when it comes to his creepy
career.
behavior. Yeah, like there's a lot, but we're gonna get into all of it, the cult accusations, the sexual misconduct allegations, again, trigger warning. So yeah, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Hi, Christy.
Morning, Sophie.
Ugh, it is early. Not as early for me. It's only 9 a.m., but that's early for me.
It's okay.
Um,
You know what? We complement each other nicely because Sophie's a night owl and I'm a
yeah.
morning early bird. So
Yes. Yes.
name a better duo. How has your week been so far? It's Happy Halloween. I know when this comes out, it's going to be like almost a week out, but are you and Henry going to be dressed as anything? How are you celebrating,
We're
etc.?
actually going to a Halloween fest this weekend, which I'm really excited about. Henry planned it to like as an extension of our anniversary celebrations. And I don't think I'm boring. I'm like, maybe I'll wear like cat ears. I don't think I'm gonna dress. I really just want to go for like the hayride and like the apple cider donuts,
Oh,
you know?
cute. It's like a full like event.
Yeah.
That's really cute. Take some
Yeah, it's
cute
like a
pics.
fall festival. So I'm excited for that. Do you have any Halloween plans?
Honestly, no. I was talking to my therapist and I was just telling her how I've just been like, I don't know, this past couple weeks has been a little bit weird. And she was like, stop traveling, don't do anything, just this
Yeah.
weekend, just hang out. And I'm actually hanging out with the baby Snark. I think I've talked about her before, but we've become friends. And so we're gonna
Yeah.
grab dinner and have like a low-key like girls' night tomorrow. So
Love.
honestly just kind of like girly popping around and being low key. So, but actually, a hayride and like pumpkin patch sounds very adorable and very fall and autumn.
Yeah.
Obviously, you guys know from the episode title, we're talking Jared Leto, and Sophie's going to be walking us through him. But recently, no, most notably, and I talked about this on the show before, he did We Crashed on Apple TV with Anne
Hmm.
Hathaway. And that's like the latest that I've seen of him. I've never really historically been a Jared Leto fan in my life, honestly.
No, no,
Curious, yeah, what your past is with him and what you know about him.
no. It's funny because I mentioned this when we were talking about him a few weeks ago on Dark Energy Tuesday about how his new movie Tron Heiress or whatever it's called flopped. And I told you guys how I was watching like the trailer or like a first look clip with Henry of that movie. And I was like, oh, I could like maybe be into this. I don't know. And then as soon as Jared Leto shows up, I was like, no, fuck that. I'm not seeing jump scare. And now Henry refers to Jared Leto as that guy that I hate. That's what he says. Um, I did, unpopular opinion, I did enjoy Morbius, which is like not something that I'm proud of. Um, but he's a box office flop. He is a creep. He is weird. Uh, I don't know why any studio keeps casting him in things. Moral of the story. So yeah, we will get into his background and controversies and everything about him. So I guess let's jump in. But speaking of We Crash, I did enjoy that show. So there are like hit or miss moments for me in terms of his body of work, but I don't watch anything for him. I watch that show to watch the story of WeWork. Um, and yeah, just a trigger warning that there is discussion of sexual harassment, sexual assault, weird cult stuff. Yeah, just listen with discretion this episode because he is a fucking weird guy. So yeah, let's get into Mr. Jared Leto. So, Jared Leto was born in Bossier City, Louisiana, and I think that I assume that's how it's pronounced, Bossier City. His mom actually has Cajun ancestry, and he describes growing up, quote unquote, food stamp poor. They were not well off at all. Um, His parents divorced when he was young. His father, Tony Bryant, apparently abandoned the family when he was an infant. Jared said that apparently his father's last words were, "Okay, I'll see you, kid. Just going to the store to get a carton of milk." I don't know why that sounds, it sounds a little like, I don't know, sounds maybe fake. And I say that because Jared Leto has confessed to making things up about his background. Wait, Chris, you're muted.
We wouldn't be throwing these accusations out about Jared Leto if we didn't know his history. I wouldn't be telling everyone that these stories are fictitious if he didn't have the history to support
Yes.
that.
Yes, he literally has admitted to making up things in interviews before. So take all of this with a grain of salt. I just thought that that quote in particular, like, oh, he went out to buy a carton of milk. I'm like, oh, that's so like, cliche, Uh, but he ended up living with his mom and grandparents when he was growing up. His dad remarried and tragically died by suicide when Jared was only 8 years old. Um, and
Oh,
obviously, he had kind of a troubled childhood. So by 16, he was taking drugs and stealing to pay for his habit.
whoa.
And he admitted that there was a moment involving a gun and some cocaine that may have been a turning point for him. He said, I knew it wasn't good.
Oh my God.
Um,
At 16,
yeah,
cocaine and guns. That's pretty
yeah,
wild.
not good. Oh, and he had two younger brothers from his father's second marriage. His mom was kind of like a hippie and wanted her sons to get involved in the arts. So he ended up moving to a commune with her, surrounded by artists, and he started playing piano with his brother when he was young. And, he bounced around. He dropped out of school briefly in the 10th grade. He ended up switching to a private school. Um, he enrolled at the University of the Arts in Pennsylvania to do large scale visual art, but then he got interested in filmmaking and transferred to the School of Visual Arts in New York City. And so he started to really pursue this, you know,
His craft.
artistic,
Yeah.
his craft, this artistic creative side of him. And that started to become, he was like, this is what I want to do. He ended up attending the Corcoran School of the Arts and Design, now a part of GW, George Washington University. But keep in mind, again, we aren't exactly what is true or not about Jared Leto's life. Because as
Mhm.
he told New York Times, the reporter said, you've said some strange things in interviews over the years. You once claimed to have spent time in prison. Jared goes, when I was young, I read that River Phoenix said he tried to lie as much as possible in interviews. It's okay to have a little fun out there. It's not about being evasive. As you can see, I'm an open book.
You will never be River Phoenix, Jared Leto.
He will never be River Phoenix. But
No.
yeah, so a lot of this stuff, if it sounds implausible, that's because maybe it's not entirely true. We don't really know. But this is just what is widely known about his background. Um, but yeah, he's known for giving these like evasive, pseudo philosophical answers and being difficult with reporters, just in general. Um, and like walking out of interviews mid-interview if he thinks the questions are too mainstream.
Please.
Um, but he apparently became a teetotaler back in 2007. So after struggling with, drugs and alcohol as a teenager, he decided to go completely sober. And to that I say, what is his vice? Because I feel like every teetotaler has a vice. If they don't use drugs or alcohol, and I'm not saying that every vice is illegal or predatory or creepy, like in the case of Crystalia or potentially Jared Leto, allegedly. Um, I feel like every teetotaler has a vice, no?
Wait, sorry, I'm so dumb. What is a teetotaler?
Someone who doesn't drink or do drugs or
Got it.
I don't,
Straight
okay, let me
edge.
straight edge. A
Yeah, that's
person
what we used to
who
call
just
it.
never drinks alcohol, does not smoke, doesn't do drugs, just completely raw dog's life. I don't know like why they're called teetotaler or not just like sober, but I guess it
Mm,
implies that like there's no smoking, there's like literally nothing, I guess.
gotcha.
Yeah. Um, I'm looking up the word teetotaler is a reduplication of total for emphasis from the 19th century temperance movement. The T is the letter T used to stress a complete or teetotal abstinence from alcohol. Um, okay, so yeah. he is also a vegan and has been accused of, and like an environmentalist, according to
Mm,
him, but he's been accused of being a little hypocritical with his vegan slash ethical branding because he claims to be, this lifelong environmentalist, but he takes private jets. He jumped on the NFT train immediately, which if you know anything about NFTs, they're terrible for the environment. He also was obsessed with Gucci and the creative director. He still is, but especially the creative director, Alessandro Michel. Gucci is known for using exotic skins and,
mm.
leather and all of that. And he has also been accused of potential alleged animal cruelty, which is obviously interesting for a vegan. So
Yeah.
we will get to that. So, in terms of his come up in his acting career, he started his career on a TV series called My So-Called Life in 1994. I think My So-Called Life was a little before our time because it came out in 1994. We're just like little spring chickens. We're young over
We're
here.
so young and,
He made his film debut in How to Make an American Quilt in 1995. In 1997, was the lead in Prefontaine, which I don't know if that I'm pronouncing that right, but while doing my research here, I was like, who is Steve Prefontaine? And he was an Olympic hopeful. He's a runner who ended up dying in a car crash at age 24. It's a really sad story. He was apparently drunk and driving. But sad story. I'd never heard of him. He died back in the 70s. So he actually got a lot of critical attention after this film. And he trained for 6 weeks, met with Steve's family and friends. He learned his voice and running style. And something about Jared Leto is that he is famously a method actor. So, yeah, that's what he does. He's a method actor.
he's so
I
serious.
know he's just so serious. So he also starred in The Thin Red Line, Fight Club, American Psycho. In American Psycho, you've seen American Psycho, right?
No.
Christy, what the fuck?
I've never seen good movies. Like it's a joke with all my friends too. They're like, never sees good movies, like Lord of the Rings, Star Wars. Uh,
That's fine. Those ones, it's fine. I like Lord of the Rings. I do not like Star Wars. But you have to see American Psycho. That's a classic, especially because you like scary stuff. Like that's like a good scary movie. Um,
I'll watch
but
it tonight. Yeah.
yeah, watch it tonight. So he plays a character, Paul Allen, and Christian Bale or Patrick Bateman kills him because he's like the better version of him and has a better business card, which was fun. So he also was in Requiem for a Dream in 2000.
Crazy. I can say I've seen that one.
I have never seen that. We've like never seen the same movie.
I've only
Like
seen the important ones, like It Ends With Us.
I know.
Hmm.
So he received a lot of praise for his lead role as a drug addict and to prepare for his role because he's a method actor, remember? He apparently lived on the streets of New York City and refrained from having sex for 2 months prior to shooting for whatever reason that helped him. He starved himself for months, losing 28 pounds to realistically play this heroin addict character. He said that he got increasingly sick and he started getting addicted to losing weight. Um, he seemed to have developed an eating disorder during this time, um, which is sad. But after the shooting of the film, he was like, "Okay, it's time for me to gain the weight back, and gain my sanity back." So he apparently shaved his head, went to a monastery in Portugal, and feasted on fish and potatoes. So he went on to star in Panic Room, Phone Booth. I
Phone
don't,
Booth.
I loved that movie.
Wait, I remember that coming out again, a movie I don't think I've seen before, but I remember the trailers and like it
Yeah,
being really spooky and like it being a rainy day and maybe even New
yeah,
York City.
yeah. That was a good movie. I have seen that actually. Alexander, Lord of War, Lonely Hearts, Chapter 27. These were all in the early 2000s. So he started to become a prolific actor. And for Chapter 27, he gained 67 pounds to play John Lennon's killer, Mark David Chapman. His weight gain was so extreme it gave him gout, and he needed a wheelchair on set. Gout dick sucker. I'm sorry, I had to. That's from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. To lose the weight, he went on a liquid diet after filming. He directed a short film slash 30 Seconds to Mars music video, A Beautiful Lie, in 2008 under the pseudonym of Angakok Panapak.
What?
He needed his pseudonym, he needed it.
What a name.
Yeah, he is a very interesting guy. Okay. He's also, by the way, 30 Seconds to Mars. I know that we're focusing on his acting career. He is the front man of this band, 30 Seconds to Mars. He plays guitar, bass, and keyboard. And he started the band back in 1998. And the reason that he like had a pseudonym for this music video is he's like, I want to keep it separate. Like I don't want people to like know me as Jared Leto, the famous actor. Like I just want it to be this whole separate thing. But the band didn't really take off until their second album in 2005. So he was kind of like an actor first, before 30 Seconds to Mars started taking off. And we will talk a lot more about them shortly. Let me find my place. I lost my place. Okay. So yeah, so his pseudonym of Ingakok Panipak.
I'm also trying to recall what 30 Seconds to Mars is known for, like their best tracks.
There's one song, that I used to like of theirs. Oh, The Kill. The
Yeah, that's the
Kill.
number one on Spotify. Yeah.
That was like I definitely remember listening to that like in my like Mitsubishi Lancer when I was like driving to school.
I'm thinking of the DET,
The
the stock
Mitsubishi
image.
Lancer, the
Yep.
stock photo, just speeding down.
If
I
you
don't
know, you
know
know.
if you know, you're an OG. I don't know if they still make Mitsubishi Lancers, but yeah, we had some good times together. So he also started Mr. Nobody in 2009. And then now a quick ad break to talk about Born Shoes. I'm going to tell you guys an embarrassing secret that I don't talk a lot about on the pod. My driver's license has been expired for years now. It's so embarrassing, I know, but I lived in New York for 11 years and just haven't had a reason to drive in forever. Don't judge me, please. So basically, I'm so used to walking literally everywhere, usually with my boy Baxter. And I'm constantly on the hunt for shoes that are comfortable, walkable, but also cute slash dressy enough for work or nice dinners. That's why I'm so happy I finally discovered Born Shoes. I was looking for a pair of brown suede loafers for so long, but every pair I could find online was so expensive and honestly probably uncomfortable. But I'm obsessed with my new ones from Born Shoes. They're lightweight, supportive, and extremely comfortable with this incredible padded insole. These loafers are perfect for my lifestyle and they look stylish. I'm not exaggerating when I say I can walk miles in them and easily dress them up for work. And all of their styles are made from the best top quality leather. Take comfort in Born Shoes. Go to bornshoes.com today for 15% off discount plus free ground shipping on all full price shoes when you use our promo code SNARK. That's promo code SNARK for 15% off and free shipping. Available exclusively to our listeners for just a limited time. Now, a quick ad break to talk about Factor. I know I'm not alone when I say it suddenly feels like life is just crazier than ever. For me, it's this work, the pod, trying to have a social life, keeping my skin moisturized, making sure Henry doesn't feel like a neglected husband. I truly feel busier than ever, for better or for worse. And I'm sure a ton of you feel the exact same way. That's why Factor is perfect. I don't have the time to cook lately. I'm also just not a good cook in general. But I always feel like it's better when I eat something at home versus ordering in or eating out. So, Factor's meals are chef prepped and dietitian approved and make it easy to stay healthy and on track even during the busy seasons of life. My personal favorite, and I've eaten this one multiple times, is the filet with roast carrots and potato leek mash. It literally feels like an expensive steakhouse meal that I can just have ready in minutes at home. If you're a seafood lover, they have tons of premium options like salmon and shrimp. If you're into Thai or Chinese cuisine, you're in luck also. There are so many options to choose from, and they're all delicious and healthy and packed with protein. Eat smart at factormeals.com/snark50 off and use code snark50 off to get 50% off your first box. plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code SNARK50 off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box, plus free breakfast for 1 year. Get delicious, ready to eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto renewing subscription purchase. In 2013, starred in Dallas Buyers Club. Did you ever see this?
Of course I didn't.
So
You
I
know,
actually,
moving
oh,
forward, just assume I have not seen any of the
yeah,
cult classics.
yeah, I will. That's how I will proceed. Um, but I actually saw this in theaters randomly over Thanksgiving with like my mom and my sister and my grandma, I think. It was one of those like Oscar contender movies.
I remember.
And it was good. I mean, I haven't had any desire to rewatch it since then, but he portrayed a drug-addicted transgender woman with AIDS who befriends Matthew McConaughey's character, Ron Woodruff. And his performance as this trans woman earned him an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. Which was controversial, of course. And he dropped over 30 pounds for the role to appear as frail as possible. He also shaved his eyebrows, waxed his entire body. And throughout filming, he apparently refused to break character. He said, I think the role demanded that commitment. It was about how does that affect how I walk, how I talk, who I am, how I feel. You feel very fragile and delicate and unsafe. And he said that the portrayal was grounded in his meeting transgender people while researching the role. He said he met with multiple people in the transgender community to learn about how he could make his performance a real portrayal rather than a caricature. Part of that extended to learning how to put on lipstick, for example. Um, sorry,
These,
I'm just, wait, are you reading
these
his
notes are,
tweet?
yeah, but I'm just looking at what your note says. Leave it to a straight man to represent a trans woman so truthfully. So many experiences to draw from.
Yeah, he basically, was acting like he was a martyr for portraying a trans woman, even though he is not trans. And yeah, he it's like you are a straight white man, like come on. And he obviously profited off of this role. He earned an Oscar from it. And then he didn't even thank the transgender community in his speeches because, during the award show circuit, he won a lot of awards, made a lot of speeches, did not once thank the transgender community and kind of made a mockery of it. Um, so in his Golden Globes win speech, for example, he said, I did not ever use any prosthetics in this film. This tiny little Brazilian bubble butt was all mine.
Ugh.
I know. So it was slammed for being really, really, really tone deaf. Salon.com said this was all in good fun, but Leto's playing for laughs. The process by which he prepared for the role of a person who felt uncomfortable in her body was not really. It was a very transformative role. I had to do a lot of things to prepare. One of the things I did was wax my entire body, including my eyebrows, and the audience laughed. Um, And then this writer also writes, I'd point to the fact that neither Leto nor his fellow winner, Matthew McConaughey, mentioned AIDS once in their respective speeches. These two men devoted months of their lives to a project specifically about the AIDS crisis, and then went off on tangents when accepting awards for their work about how goofy and weird it is to make your body like a transgender person's, like Jared Leto did. So yeah, he got a lot of backlash from the transgender community. The Independent wrote, people protested his stereotypical treatment of the character. And Time writer Steve Frice claimed that this marked another moment when liberals in Hollywood, both in the industry and in the media, showed how little they understood or empathized with the lives of a minority they imagine they and Jared Leto are honoring. So it's like, oh, you act like you are doing this justice, but you're really making a mockery of it.
Sure, right.
There were a lot of think pieces on it. Again, a lot of backlash. And apparently, Matthew McConaughey and Jared Leto, while filming this movie, did not like each other, which this makes me like Matthew McConaughey. I mean, I've been kind
Yes.
of, I wouldn't say I'm indifferent towards him. I lean towards liking him. I'm not like a super fan, but I like him. I really want to see that new movie, by the way, where he plays the bus driver in the California wildfires that's trying to get a bunch of school children on a bus out of the fires.
Oh, that sounds very good. I really enjoy Matthew McConaughey. I like that we should do like a whole Matthew McConaughey episode separately, but I like that he's really pivoted intentionally in his career of he was known as the rom-com guy and he really hated that he was known for that. So he said that he turned down like so many lucrative opportunities simply because he wanted to move away from the stereotype. And he said it wasn't easy. Dallas Buyers Club was the first time I was able to actually
Yeah.
go into a role that wasn't How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. And I feel as if he's now taken far more seriously. And I like his energy and I think his family is really beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm obsessed with like how he's trying to raise up his kids these days.
Yeah, he's a cutie. But yeah, he confirmed this friction. He said we didn't get along. He didn't care about me, and I didn't care about him. So, love that about him. So, in 2016, Jared Leto played the iconic Joker character in the movie Suicide Squad. He chopped off his hair, bleached his hair neon green, shaved his eyebrows, covered himself in tattoos, and he was a real freaking weirdo. But this is the worst part. He apparently sent gag gifts because he's a method actor, remember? He's a method actor. So that means that he had to send things like used condoms, dead pigs, semen soaked magazines, and
What?
anal beads to his co stars, Viola Davis and Margot Robbie. It's rumored that he also gifted a dead rat, a,
What?
a live rat, and bullets. Margot Robbie said that he gifted her a live rat, which she stated that she kept as a pet until her landlord discovered it. Also, rumors that he may have killed a rat on set. So, again, this is the animal cruelty that I'm talking about for a vegan. You're throwing around like dead rats. And I mean, that's just like, even if you didn't kill them, like that's so like disrespectful to the animal and to
Yeah.
the person, obviously. Um, there are also rumors that these antics were maybe fabricated by his PR team to like build mystique. So he's actually said to have a very controlling PR team, which is surprising given his terrible reputation. Rumors of really insane NDAs, bot accounts created to defend him online, staged fan encounters, etc. What is the truth? I don't know. But Viola Davis told Vanity Fair that Jared Leto did some bad things. He gave some really horrific gifts. He had a henchman who would come into the rehearsal room, and the henchman came in with a dead pig and plopped it on the table, and then he walked out. And that was our introduction to Jared Leto.
What?
Yeah.
And you know what they say about individuals that are obsessed with animal cruelty? A
Yeah.
lot of
Serial
serial
killers.
killers, yeah, they start their obsession with death through killing animals. I'm not
Yeah.
suggesting that Jared Leto is a murderer, but he has some sick, twisted fantasies.
Yeah. And like we don't know, like, did he buy these animals dead? Like he could have gone to the butcher. Like, I don't know if he actually killed them. There are rumors that he killed a rat, but like I who knows? Either way, it's disturbing. Will Smith said that when they first found out that Jared wasn't going to be in rehearsals, we were like, that's messed up. How is he not going to be in rehearsals? And then there was a bag on the door, and this dude barges in and throws a dead pig on the floor in front of us. Um, so he said, okay, Jared has officially set off the Suicide Squad. He went full Joker. So this was apparently part of his method acting. And Jared responded with any of the very few gifts that were ever given were given with a spirit of fun and adventure and received with laughter, fun, and adventure. I'm playing a guy called the Joker. It's okay to play some jokes. Nothing ever crossed any lines, and it's not up to other people on the internet to create those lines. I'm an artist at the end of the day. If I do something risky and you don't like it, you can kiss my ass.
No, we're just saying it's weird that you're bringing dead animals on set and plopping them onto the table via your henchmen.
Via henchman. And for all this fuss, he was like barely in the movie. I never watched this because I don't need to justify myself why I didn't watch Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
But he was barely in the movie. His portrayal got panned. The movie got really terrible reviews. Um, his portrayal as the Joker in particular was like really, really, really panned. And I think he was like also kind of in a tough spot because he was the first person to play the Joker after Heath Ledger. I'm sure you've seen The Dark Knight,
No, I know. No.
Chrissy.
Sophie, I'm sure you've seen The Dark Knight. Now I'm giving you a high
I
voice.
wait, I've yeah, what's with the high voice?
I,
I have never met someone in my life who hasn't seen The Dark Knight.
no, what I'm telling you is I am not a woman of like arts, you know? Like I
Chrissy,
love trashy pop culture, but when it comes to serious works of art, you bet your bottom dollar I've not seen it. Like I don't it's almost like it's comical at this point. Listen, I'm self-aware enough to know it's a problem. You know what we need to do? On Patreon one of these days we need to do a live watch of like a cult classic, like a true like
The Dark Knight is like the fact that you haven't seen The Dark Knight is like so there are so many
problematic.
well, there are so many like references in that movie that have become like pop culture like canon. And oh my God, that's so crazy to me. I
No, it's a
actually saw
problem.
that at the midnight showing back in 2008. I was in high school, and me and my boyfriend at the time, we were like, let's go see it because it was released posthumously after Heath Ledger had passed away. And obviously, his portrayal of the Joker was so incredible and iconic that he posthumously won the Oscar for it. And
Yeah.
it was just like, he was the blueprint for the Joker. And obviously there were Joker portrayals before him and there are after him, but he is known as the best Joker. So
Yeah.
the fact that Leto played the Joker after Heath Ledger was kind of setting him up to fail. Um, he had big shoes to fill, but Joaquin Phoenix ended up getting good reviews for his portrayal as the Joker. And the fact that they started making these standalone Joker movies with Joaquin Phoenix instead of Jared Leto apparently really pissed off Jared. He said he felt alienated and upset by this, allegedly, and he tried to use his influence to stop these movies from getting made because he wanted his own film. And he told his agents to pressure Warner Brothers to kill the project. Um, Even though, that movie ended up being extremely successful, at least the first one. I know the second one with Lady Gaga wasn't as much, but the first one was really successful. It grossed over $1 billion. It won Oscars, etc. But it strained his relationship with Warner Brothers. And obviously, everyone found out about his really scary on-set behavior. And yeah, he started to get a really bad reputation. So he went on to be in Blade Runner 2049 in 2017, and he wore opaque contacts that blinded himself on set so he could truly behave like his blind character. In 2021, he was in The Little Things, which he got a Golden Globe nomination for. I watched this uh probably like, I don't know, a year or two ago. I don't remember anything about it. I do remember him showing up and I'm like, God damn it, not Jared Leto again.
Fuck. You just see
Fuck.
Sophie in like the movie theater. Fuck.
Well,
When he comes on screen.
that's why Henry says he's like, there's that guy you hate. Like he just knows that I hate Jared Leto. Um he was in House of Gucci in 2021, for which he also got a
Um,
Golden Globe nom. Did you ever see this? I'm gonna assume no. Okay, so this movie actually was good. Like Lady Gaga and Adam Driver really good. Um, it's actually really funny. Jared Leto played like the way that he wore prosthetics to play this character that he looked absolutely nothing like. The first time I saw this movie, I did not realize it was Jared Leto, which I guess is like a compliment. I'm not trying to compliment him. I'm trying to say, why wouldn't you just hire someone who looks more like this character? He plays like a bald, older gentleman, you know? It's like, why can't you just hire a bald, older actor, you know?
yeah. Like you really needed a. Oh, I don't know. I was about to say put on a fat suit, but no, you didn't say he was larger, just bald and older.
Yeah, so
Sorry. Yeah, it's like it's so dumb.
prosthetics. So he remained in character the whole time on set. He made the hair and makeup people get him ready at a separate location so he could show up on set dressed as Paolo Gucci. And Al Pacino was apparently weirded out by him because he didn't recognize him. Um,
Weirded
so
out by him.
yeah, so 2022, it's Morbin time. Morbius. So he plays this vampire named Morbius, and to play this character, he did his thing. He learned how to walk with a cane. Um
Etc. He loves to lean into the
yeah.
character. Like
Yeah, it's so embarrassing that I actually really enjoyed this movie because it got panned. It was a box office flop. It became a huge meme. Um, and because it became such a meme on the internet, they tried to like bring it back into theaters. They did actually. They brought it back to theaters even though it flopped because they were like, well, now everyone loves it.
yeah.
Ironically, it's like a joke, it's a meme. So they brought it back to theaters just for it to flop again in theaters, which is funny. Um But like once again, like I enjoyed Morbius. I hate to say it. Like I thought it was a fun little romp.
You
But
liking it is a little more my speed. Like that's a little bit of me, you know?
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a bad movie. Like it's
Mhm.
literally a bad movie. So but it's again, it's kind of fun and silly. But yeah, huge box office flop. The studio lost um a lot of money with Morbius. So then we are on to We Crashed in 2022, where he plays Adam Newman, the founder of WeWork, and wore prosthetics and used an Israeli accent. And he apparently hired a team of 5 Israelis to rehearse lines with and attended Shabbat dinner so he could hear that voice all the time. And ironically, Jared Leto is an investor in startups like Airbnb and Uber, and he's made quite a decent amount of money from investing, kind of like Ashton Kutcher. He's
I was
like,
gonna say Ashton Kutcher. Yeah.
yeah, like I'm not just an actor, I'm an investor too.
Speaking of Ashton Kutcher, he actually was a huge proponent and supporter of Adam Newman.
He would be.
He would go on like news conferences and be like, Adam Newman is the real deal, invest in WeWork, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, he freaking would be. Wait, sorry guys, can I answer one urgent Slack message really fast? Okay. Yeah, but I enjoyed We Crashed. I mean, I think we both did.
So good. That's
I
one I
think,
can say I watched and one that I thought was actually very good.
yeah, and I think, I hate to say it, I think that he did a good job playing Adam Newman. I don't think that he's the most talented actor in the world at all. Like I don't think he's good at a lot of things, but I thought he was really good in that. Um, so let's move on to Tron Ares, his latest project, which apparently he semi-funded, which is why he was cast as the lead. Because so many people were like, why would you cast Jared Leto? You are setting yourself up to fail.
Right.
All he does is, sync movies because no one wants to watch him. Um, but he was part of the funding of it. So he got to be the lead. And it immediately got bad reviews. It was a box office flop along with Morbius. Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 51% from critics. And they write that Tron Legacy boasts dazzling visuals, but its human characters and story get lost amid its state-of-the-art production design. Um, it's expected to lose hundreds of millions of dollars
Too bad,
uh,
Jared Leto.
from Disney. Yeah. Uh, and I think this is maybe like the nail in the coffin for his career in a way. I think that he's going to continue to get cast in things and probably smaller indie projects, I'm sure. But in terms of like big box office productions, they keep losing money with Jared
Right.
Leto as the lead because people don't want to watch him. Like, again, I just don't think he has a bad reputation off screen. I don't think he's like that talented. All he does is like, he kind of always has like the same face and the same like acting. And, for a method actor, I
Right.
think that, We Crash is maybe the exception. But yeah, I feel like studios would be really, really, really dumb to cast him and stuff again.
He had a lot to work with, I feel like, in We Crash because that story in and of itself was very compelling. And
Yeah.
it's kind of like, well, I feel like he got lucky with such an interesting character to play and such an interesting story to portray. But it seems like he really leans into the more like just really dark, weird roles, which I think speaks to a lot to his personality, which we're obviously going to get into in a moment about his cult
Yeah.
accusations and his following. Ugh, it's just very dark and seedy all
Yes, it's
around.
it's very dark. So, speaking of dark characters, his next upcoming role is as Skeletor in Masters of the Universe, which comes out in 2026. He will play He-Man's arch nemesis, and it's kind of like a supervillain role, blah blah blah. He's depicted as a skull-faced, blue-skinned sorcerer. And there are lots of memes about how, he's brought down the Tron franchise, he brought down Morbius, and now it's going to be Masters of the Universe. So everyone is prepared for those films to flop as well. Now, a quick ad break to talk about Olive and June. If you guys know anything about us and our dark energy objects, it's that we hate going to the nail salon. It's boring, it's not relaxing, and 2.5 hours to sit at a salon, who has the time? Am I right? Here's the problem. Like many of you, we still love having our nails done. It makes us feel more put together, more confident, more camera ready, etc. So that's where Olive and June comes in. Olive and June has everything you need for a salon quality manicure in one box. Salon grade tools, 6 polishes to choose from that don't chip and last over 7 days. If you're more of a gel girly, their gel mani boxes come with a 5 finger LED lamp and HEMA free gel polish that lasts 21 days too. Each manicure comes down to just a few dollars each. Salon quality, but so much more affordable. And without the salon appointment, huge for us because Olive and June is a perfect fit for our crazy lives. Mani time for me includes busy mornings before early recordings, nights on the couch watching trash TV. It's so fast and easy to squeeze in. Basically, Olive and June is perfect for the busy baby Starks out there who also hate going to the nail salon. Visit oliveandjune.com/snark20 for 20% off your first Mani system. That's OLIVEANDJUNE.com/SNARK20 for 20% off your first Mani system. Okay, so let's get to the cult accusations. So the cult, quote unquote, is heavily tied to the 30 Seconds to Mars fan base. He basically has a group of believers slash fans who call themselves the Echelon.
What?
And they have traveled to these kind of like adult summer camps.
That's like We Crashed when they would have the WeWork
Yeah. Yeah,
summer
kind of.
camps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Tickets cost thousands of dollars. They're promised like FaceTime with Jared Leto. They're basically like 30 Seconds to Mars super fans. He is admitted to taking inspiration from Jesus for his personal appearances there. He will walk around the festival in white robes. Everyone is running after him. Everyone's obsessed with him, blah, blah, blah. Um, the term echelon comes from the band song Echelon, and it's also a military term for troops organized in a stepped parallel formation. So just a little context theirs. And they've kind of like embraced the cult thing. Like they even in one music video, the words, yes, this is a cult come on screen. Uh, and the 30 Seconds to Mars fans are apparently very committed. He claimed that in 2013, a fan once sent him their ear in the mail with a note that said, "Are you listening?" And he said, that ear is not even the craziest thing. I got a FedEx box full of pubic hair one time.
He also
Obviously, none of the,
says
yeah,
that he wore the ear as a necklace. He poked a hole in it and wore it, donned it on his around his neck.
yeah.
Again, but like what to your point,
What is true?
can we actually believe this is in fact true?
Yeah, like literally what is true. But he is a weirdo either way. And I think he loves I mean, I know he does. He loves like the adoration.
Of
He loves
course.
the way that these people are like setting in pubic hair in body parts. Like he loves that. It's so creepy. Uh, in 2013, 30 Seconds to Mars held a contest in which the winners got to stay at Jared Leto's house. One fan even got to sleep in his bed. There's a recap of the winner's experience on Tumblr. And if you find the source credible, Jared did not stay in his house that night nor sleep in the bed. And apparently his bed is a coffin, by the way.
This guy gets weirder and fucking weirder.
I know.
He reminds me of like an actual real life vampire.
No, he actually is.
I feel like anytime you go into his house, it's like blasting just cold air, and he just like
Yeah.
levitates. Ugh.
Yeah, he's so creepy. Again, with like the cult stuff, he told the New York Times in 2013 that it's for the believers who get the joke. I hate the word fan. It just seems so dismissive because we have this cult, this family, these believers who understand. It seems fitting that there was a name to reference them, aka the Echelon, the cult. Um, the next month, 30 Seconds to Mars asked fans to get their lyrics tattooed on their body in exchange for a chance to star in one of the band's music videos. All fans must be filmed saying, I am the Echelon before going under the needle and must also explain why they're getting it done. So, very normal.
Jesus.
So
Branding
20,
their body, basically.
it's so scary. So in 2015 is when they started hosting their summer camps or festivals, whatever you want to call them, called Camp Mars. That was the first one they did in Malibu. They did Mars Island at a private island in Croatia. Activities included yoga and meditation, campfire sing-alongs, intimate concerts. It was basically like a huge meet and greet for 30 Seconds to Mars mega fans.
What?
Um, in 2019, it kind of started to go viral, the Camp Mars event, Mars Island in Croatia. Jared was photographed with his cult dressed in all white like Jesus. And the band's social team posted the pictures of social media saying, yes, this is a cult. And yeah, people were really weirded out. But if you ask Echelon members, they say it's all in good fun and it's kind of like an inside joke. One Reddit user, Lizzo's Juicy Coochie, said, no NDAs were even necessary. It was literally just a fan event, nothing more and nothing less. Nishia on Reddit said, I went to Camp Mars every year and essentially followed them around on tour for 2 years. The first year was honestly magical. It was an adult summer camp. I worked a very high stress job and I got to feel like a kid at summer camp with this band that I loved, blah, blah, blah. Um, Sad Piglet 4031 said it was all above board. People had a great time. The most negative thing I read was it felt like a cash grab. If you didn't pay for a higher package, then you didn't have access to Jared, just like the Tears of Concert VIP packages. So yeah, pretty much, the fans themselves are like, this is normal. So, relax. Mars Island has not been held since 2019. There were plans to revive it in 2020 and 2022. Which fell through partly due to COVID and possibly due to the organizers realizing it had kind of gone in an uncomfortable direction. In 2020, during the height of COVID, speaking of which, Jared faced backlash for tweeting that he had no idea what was going on
I remember
because he
this.
just got back from a 12-day meditation retreat in the desert. He tweeted, wow, 12 days ago, I began a silent meditation in the desert. We were totally isolated. No phone, no communication, etc. We had no idea what was happening outside the facility.
I
So,
totally remember this. Also, something about people continuously going on these like retreats all the time. What are you trying to escape from? Like, what perils are you facing in your life that you have to go on a silent meditation retreat all the time? I don't know. That just gives me really dark energy.
no, I know. It's
Sorry.
it's very strange.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so let's get to these sexual misconduct allegations that were kind of a long-standing rumor in Hollywood for a really long time. It just wasn't until June 2025 that it officially came out in the media. And like when we talk about these kind of like long-standing rumors, Dylan Sprouse actually in 2018, I know that we have beef with Dylan Sprouse, but he publicly alluded to inappropriate behavior by Leto on Twitter, with director James
What?
Gunn co-signing it. So he tweeted, yo, at Jared Leto, now that you've slid into the DMs of every female model aged 18 to 25, what would you say your success rate is? James Gunn responded, he starts at 18 on the internet. And Dylan Sprouse also posted an Instagram story saying that his tweet had been taken down and flagged. So it seems like Jared Leto reported it, which it's very Danielle Bernstein of him.
Yeah. If you don't
Um,
know, yeah.
yeah, so it's been an open secret with people that are like in the know. But in June 2025, 9 women accused him of engaging in inappropriate behavior over the years, including flirting with teens. As reported by The Guardian, one woman said that in 2006, when she was 16, Jared Leto came up to her at an LA cafe. He was sitting next to Ashley Olsen, 19 years old at the time. And he did have a relationship with
With
Ashley
her.
Olsen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of skipped over his relationships because it's like the least interesting thing about him. But he has been connected to Cameron Diaz. They dated on and off for 4 years. Scarlett Johansson on and off for a couple years. Ashley
What?
Olsen several years. Apparently had a casual fling with Lindsay Lohan. I'm pretty sure he's on the list, on Lindsay Lohan's list. He
I think
also
you're right.
had a casual fling with Paris Hilton, Katy Perry, Russian model Valerie Kaufman is his most recent one. So those are all, at least they were of age. Um, But back to the allegations. Um, Ashley Olsen, who was apparently 19 years old at the time when they began their little love affair, he apparently grabbed this woman's arm. The woman told Airmail that she looked down and it was Jared Leto. We had a quick conversation. He got my number. She went on to say that Jared Leto called her home a few days later, recalling, I don't know if he was on drugs or what. It was the weirdest, grossest voice. Um, and, he had said his representation told Airmail, he hasn't had a drink or used drugs in 35 years. So, it couldn't be him because, like, he's sober. So tried to use that one little thing to, like, discredit her, even though I think that he's
Right.
just weird enough that people would assume he was on drugs, even if he's just sober. Um, he apparently invited this woman to a party he was throwing. She said no because she didn't have a driver's license. She was underage. He
Oh my
kept calling
God.
her late into the evening and the conversations got sexual. He apparently said things like, have you ever had a boyfriend? Have you ever sucked a dick? Model Laura LaRue had similar experience with him in 2008 when she was also 16. She was apparently at an event in a private residence in Beverly Hills where Jared was watching her intensely. He asked how old she was. She said, I'm 16. How old are you? He was 36 at the time. Um, yeah.
What?
Yeah, he asked for her number. The two began emailing back and forth, which eventually led to her visiting his home. And she said that he was teasing her the whole time she was there. He'd lean in close, pull away. Their communications contain nothing sexual or inappropriate, according to Jared Leto's representation. And they claim that she was just trying to be his assistant and just claimed that there was nothing inappropriate that happened, even though she denied ever applying to be his assistant and said that he was inappropriate with her.
Why are you
Um,
inviting a 16-year-old to your house? You freaking creep.
Exactly. Oh, and she claimed that he walked out of her room completely naked, dick out, when she was there.
Oh my God.
And she was only 17. So she was like, I thought that was just like what adult men did. Another underage woman spoke to Airmail with similar claims. She said that she was underage and told him she was underage, and he would ask her inappropriate questions when they would hang out. Again, they were hanging out. So, like, why are you even hanging out with a high schooler?
There's
As
no
a
there's no purpose for
as
that.
a
There's
man
no,
pushing 40.
no.
He would ask her things like, do any of the little boys you hang out with fuck you? She said that one time they were hanging out, he suddenly pulled his penis out and started masturbating in front of her. Walked over, grabbed her hand, put it on him, and said, I want you to spit on it. Ugh.
Ew, he's so nasty.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so again, like there's evidence of people accusing him of being a creep for years and years and years. In 2012, DJ and music producer Ali Tells reposted a 2012 Facebook status to Instagram in which she had said, You're not really in LA until Jared Leto tries to force himself on you backstage in a kilt and a snow hat. In her Instagram stories, she verified this later on and said, I was assaulted and traumatized by this creep when I was 17. He knew my age and didn't care. What he did was predatory, terrifying, and unacceptable. And like, these are multiple women, obviously. Like,
Right,
these are multiple women
right.
who are not connected, don't know each other, and they're all claiming basically the same thing that they were teenagers and he was a fucking weird creep to them. Of course, he and his team have denied all allegations. And, unfortunately for Disney, this all came out 5 months before the release of Tron Ares, which again lost hundreds of millions of dollars because no one wanted to see Jared Leto. Around this time, also, he was touring with 30 Seconds to Mars, probably finding new victims while on tour, I imagine. And yeah, so some of the proof that these accusations have been around for a long, long time. Uh, Back in 2005, the New York Post reported that Jared Leto had been approaching teen models at the Maritime Hotel. Girls from IMG, Elite, Next, and Women are staying there, and Jared has been hitting on all of them. He's a serial texter. He is constantly texting these 16 and 17-year-old girls. It's really kind of
Disgusting.
creepy.
Disgusting.
In 2014, the tabloid Star had a story from adult performer Vicky Marie Taylor, who claims she was choked by Jared Leto while giving his brother Shannon a lap dance. She said, as I started to dance for Shannon, Jared suddenly grabbed me around the throat from behind and said to me, I can reach pure sexual enjoyment in 30 seconds just by looking into your eyes.
Oh my God. I'm like so triggered right now. This is like so bad.
Disgusting. I
It's
know.
so, this is stuff that like, this is nightmare fuel. Literally, this is a horror
Nightmare
movie.
fuel. He's so scary.
This is not okay. And it makes me wonder, sorry not to interrupt, but it makes me
No.
wonder just how many men in the industry, you hear about this all the time. Even the way that Drake was texting Millie Bobby Brown and the way that he was. Do you have any boyfriends? And she was like, what, 14 or something?
Yeah.
You hear allegations of Nick Carter harassing young women at his Backstreet Boy show, bringing them back into the tour bus. You have these men in power where these young women are very excited to just be involved and included and hanging out with their favorite celeb until it goes way too far. Like this
Yeah.
is probably a tale as old as time, unfortunately, and we're just scratching the surface. Like the fact that only like we see a couple of women coming out telling these stories, for every story that we're hearing, there's probably 10 others. And they
Exactly.
will continue to do this because they have the influence and power and money to like lure these young women, or not even young, maybe just women in general, in, who are naive but not guilty, of course, just naive to think that they're not doing them any harm. They're like their
Yeah,
favorite
exactly.
celebrity. And you
Yeah.
also think, this is what Paige Lorenz used to say about Armie Hammer. She explained that he's this big movie star. Why would he be carving stuff into me? Like this has to be normal, right? Otherwise,
Yeah.
he would have been caught by now. But that's the story you tell yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. These little teenagers, like, of course they don't know any better, they're children.
Yeah.
Um, in 2016, he is on Ellen DeGeneres show with Drake, and they played a game of Never Have I Ever. The first prompt was Never have I ever hooked up with a fan on tour. And they both go, I have.
Of course they have. And how old were they, Drake and Jared?
Yeah, exactly. Tell us
Please
how old they were,
enlighten
please.
us.
Yeah. Okay. Wait, I just like this tweet from Jenny E. Nicholson. How come major film studios keep being like, Jared Leto may have allegations, but at least he looks weird, stars in box office bombs, and is not a good actor?
The
Hmm.
Holy Trilogy or Holy Trinity. Like he's got it all, right? When he
Yeah,
has
he's
nothing at all.
he's got it all. Okay, in terms of other like weird random things, at the 2019 Met Gala, do you remember this when he carried a replica of his own severed head?
He's so fucking weird. Like
Yeah,
who does
people were like,
this?
"Why do you think you're Jesus?" Like he is such a weirdo. He apparently has a feud with Elijah Wood that started in 2006. Actor Elijah Wood said that Jared Leto physically accosted him that year. So apparently he gave an interview dissing actors who start bands, and at a party, Jared confronted him. And Elijah Wood said that basically he was upset that I didn't like his band, or he said that I didn't like his band. And Jared Leto approached him, confronted him, and Elijah Wood started laughing. And Elijah said, I guess he thought I was laughing at him, but I was more shell shocked and telling people around me, whoa, I just got told off by Jared Leto for not liking his band. And that's when he came back and grabbed me. And how about that time last fall when he drove by a Love Island panel and thought the huge crowd was for him? He has like a God complex. This video is so
No.
funny. All of these
It's
fans are out there like cheering, but it's for Love Island. And he drives by and he's like, thank you
no,
guys.
I just watched it. It's so humiliating, you guys. We'll have our video editor like put a clip in. It's genuinely so humiliating. He's like popping his head out of the Escalade.
He's
Hey.
like, thank you guys so much. I
Yeah. Like throwing
love you.
flowers at the fans that aren't there for him.
Yeah, so that is basically Jared Leto. He is a huge creep and a huge weirdo. And yeah,
Wow.
yeah, I know that there is a lot, and he is just a bad guy, I would say. So, what are your closing thoughts on Jared Leto, Christy?
Unfortunately, everything that I heard about his cult and the luring of young women, none of this surprises me. I guess I didn't realize the extent of like how he was luring minor girls
Yeah.
allegedly. It it just makes me so disgusted because again, I think of all of like, my friends' kids, my older friends' kids who are like 20 and they still look like children to me. The fact that 20-year-olds could still look like to me 12-year-olds, how could you ever be into a 16-year-old, 17-year-old girl is beyond me. It's
Yeah.
predatorial. It's I mean, is that yeah, it constitutes it's like molestation, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, if you like allegedly, if you
Allegedly.
are to believe this stuff, there are a lot of, um really, really, really disgusting things that he allegedly did, said, and yeah, it's bad. It's not good. So I don't know why. Like that tweet said, why do they keep casting him? He's not a good actor. Everything with him bombs. He's a creep and he's weird. So
Yeah, he has nothing to offer us. So stop supporting 30 Seconds to Mars if you are. I mean, who actually listens to that band? Let's be real. Besides We Crash, I've not seen one work of art from Jared Leto, and I'm happy to say so, even though he's in Dallas Buyers Club, and I know that that was like a world-renowned, like highly decorated film. But no, I feel really badly for all of his victims and those in his cult that are lured into this madness. And when you were talking about the echelon thing, it reminded me of like The Family, Charles Manson, just like these men, these creepy men with
yeah,
this long hair and luring in really troubled people that don't
yeah,
feel like they have a place in life or a home, and then they get lured into these cults because they feel like they have like a belonging and they're finally feeling like they're fitting in and people care about them when in fact people are using you.
yeah,
Oh, cults are just so scary, and Jared Leto was so scary. Nice job on this one. This was I definitely need to take a walk after this. This
yeah.
is very dark, but you did a good job.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, well, thank you guys so much for listening. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at SnarkBaitPod. I'm at Soph_Ross. Christy is at Christy Noel __. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a 5-star rating and a review if you do not mind. And thank you to our team, Jordan, Rachel, Olivia, and Kartik. Couldn't do it without them. And thank you, Baby Snarks, for listening. We love you.
Love you guys so much. See you on
Oh,
Tuesday.
and we have a new episode on Patreon tomorrow, per usual. And that is patreon.com/sharkratepod. So if you want more,
Yesterday.
or yesterday, I mean, yesterday.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you guys for listening. Bye.
Bye.